Number 1 on this list of things to say no to is the need to appear exciting. Now I want you to notice that I said appear because it seems like nowadays everyone wants to turn their life into some kind of huge highlight reel where it's this never-ending carousel of one-upsmanship. A long time ago, I made the decision to be as transparent and honest as possible in sharing the ups and downs of real life as a minimalist family. And if that means that we end up looking silly or risk having people judge us or think that we are boring, you know, so be it. And who gets to define what boring is anyway? Some people, of course, think that our minimalist home is too boring, but we personally love it here all the way down to the squeaky 100-year-old floors. What's up, fam, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new around here, welcome for the first time. My name is Marissa and I'm a minimalist mom, and I teach stressed out, overwhelmed, and anxious people how to conquer their clutter and simplify their way to a happier and better life. And today we're going to accomplish that by saying the magic word. It's not abracadabra, it's not please. The magic word is no. Learning to say no is one of the best things that you can do for yourself and your family, because when you say no to the things that don't matter, you make more time and space and energy in your life for the things that really do matter to you. Before we get started, I would love it if you would go down to the comment section and drop me a comment below and tell me what was the best thing that you have said no to in your life. I look forward to reading your comments. Today, I'm sharing with you 10 of my personal favorite things that I've said no to in my life. And if you're looking for more ideas on things to say no to in your own life, make sure to go check out the blog post that I will link down in the description box below with a total of 100 things to say no to in your life, in your home, at work, in your relationships, and so much more. Number 2 on this list is over-the-top recipes. There was a point in my life where I had the time and the energy and the desire to learn how to cook new dishes because I honestly had a very limited repertoire.
Basically, my repertoire is pretty small.
But now, at this point, I've gotten very confident in my cooking, and there's a lot of various dishes that I can make in all sorts of different cuisines like Japanese, Chinese, Korean, Italian. I can make homemade pizzas. I can do almost anything. I like to keep it easy and stick with what I know. And also it just takes less mental effort and thought on my part. And something that I have found myself doing is I will run an audit of a recipe if there is something new that I want to try. And I'll take a look at the ingredients before I decide that I'm going to make the recipe. And if I don't have a significant portion of the ingredients, and I know that those ingredients are not something that I'm going to be able to use on a regular basis, I will just find myself another recipe, because for me, it's just not worth it. So saying no to over-the-top or overly complicated recipes is gonna help you save more time in the kitchen. Number 3 on this list is too many goals. I am someone who really loves to set goals for myself. I love to write them down. I love to plan out the steps on how I'm going to achieve my goals. But beyond planning, what I've found that really actually helps me achieve my goals is not having too many goals in the first place. Because when you have too many goals, you're just spread too thin and you're just not able to give all the effort and attention towards the goals that matter the most to you. So it's better to have fewer goals and focus on those goals and completing the steps that you need to achieve them and doing things well versus just being mediocre and trying to do everything all at once and just being so-so about it. Number 4 on this list is the need to be everywhere. Before I became a creator, I didn't really have that many social media apps or platforms that I was on. I pretty much only had Facebook. I only watched YouTube videos to listen to music to work out to. I didn't have an account. I didn't have an Instagram account. I still don't have a TikTok account. But what I found now that I'm a creator is there's this kind of pressure that you need to show up and be present and really be putting equal effort into all of these different platforms that honestly, it's just really not worth it. I tried to go on TikTok once and I felt like I was losing my mind. So one of the things that I've really made an effort and tried to be mindful about is just letting go of trying to be sharing everything on every single platform. Item number 5 on this list is trash picking. I know what you're thinking when you hear me say this. Oh, I love trash. But honestly, you would not believe some of the things that people will just lay out on the sidewalk to be thrown away and gathered up by the garbage men on garbage day. I walk around our neighborhood all the time and see these amazing like furniture pieces. And when we used to live in New Jersey, I would see like solid wood bedroom sets and patio furniture, and it just seems like such a good deal. How can you resist it? But I have really had to come to terms with the fact that anything that I am likely to find on the street is probably not something that I need to bring home. So if you are someone like me who has trouble saying no to free stuff that's laying around outside, or when family and friends are decluttering their homes and they want to give stuff away to you because it's just easier maybe than them selling it or donating it, learn to say no to these things. Number 6 on this list is mom guilt. I used to feel so much mom guilt, and I felt like I needed to be doing the absolute most to try to make sure that my kids had everything that they wanted. And they had to have this toy because it was going to make them smarter. And they had to have this toy because it was going to be best for their creativity. And I would spend like hours trying to make these Pinterest-worthy crafts and arts and things. One time I made colored spaghetti for my son who was around a year old, and he literally played with it for like 5 minutes and then he was done with it. And that was something that took me so long and so much effort to make, and then it was just done and I had to throw it away. And what I found in practice is that my kids and most kids really do best with using the things that are just around their home and that they interact with naturally on a day-to-day basis, rather than having to go out and buy all of these extra things for them to play with or to use. I saw a really great quote about this the other day, and it said, "Instead of buying your children all of the things you never had, you should teach them all the things you were never taught. Material wears out, but knowledge stays." If you ever find yourself feeling like you're not doing enough, you feel guilty about your kids not having enough stuff, or maybe they aren't wearing the best clothes, or maybe their bedroom or their nursery doesn't look like something out of Pottery Barn, just let it go and you will be so much happier being in the moment with your kids, with your family, and being together. Number 7 on this list is diet culture. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I am a recovered binge eater. And if you aren't already subscribed to my channel, make sure to go down and hit the little red subscribe button and turn on all notifications by ringing the little bell, because next week I have a video coming with some of my healthy eating habits that helped me recover and heal my binge eating. So it's taken me a long time to get to this place, but one of the most important things for me was to reject diet culture. And I never think of myself as dieting, but rather focus on eating healthy and staying balanced and being really intuitive with my eating. And when I feel like I'm getting stressed out and I'm eating more, because I still do have a tendency to do that, I try to look at what's stressing me out, what I can do to mitigate that. And I also had to declutter my YouTube channels because they had bodies that I envied, or they were fitness gurus that I wanted to do their exercises. But I was subscribed to Chloe Ting for an entire year, and I never did a single one of her fitness videos. So I think it's really important to be honest with yourself about what you are and are not willing to do as far as fitness and your diet to stay healthy. And say no to things that make you feel bad about yourself or put you in a negative mindset. Number 8 on this list is systems that don't work. I think it's easy to get into this mindset where you feel like you've put effort into figuring something out and trying to make something work and planning something, and then it's hard to let go of the guilt that you put so much time and effort and sometimes money into learning or implementing these things, but then to say that it didn't work for you, it's hard to let go of that guilt. I had noticed this recently, particularly with a productivity system that I was trying to use based on some other YouTuber recommendations that was called Notion, but it just did not work for me. Letting go of this aesthetic and idealized fantasy image of my productive self that I had in my head was a little bit difficult, but in the end, I was able to create a system that worked for me and is a lot simpler. This can also apply to things like budgeting. Maybe there's a certain budgeting system that you were really hopeful that was going to help you, but you find it's not really working for you. It's okay to say that that didn't work for you and try to explore other options. So don't get too caught up in the idea of a system that is supposedly so amazing and start feeling bad because you didn't make it work for you, and instead focus on moving on and finding something that does work in your own life. Number 9 on this list is strict fashion rules. So basically I have a capsule wardrobe, but it's an all-season capsule wardrobe and I don't really change it out year to year. I have items in my closet that I've been wearing for 10 years or more, and that really works for me because it keeps things easy and uncomplicated, and I don't have any strict rules. I'm not aiming for a certain number of items in my wardrobe. I'm not sticking to only neutrals. I've got plenty of patterns and colors and all sorts of things. So I've really said no to this idea of having to look a certain way to dress as a minimalist, and rather been more focused on what kinds of fabrics I enjoy wearing, what's easy to care for, and what I feel cozy and comfortable in. And finally, number 10 on this list is clutter. Yes, I have been striving to say no to clutter in all of its forms in my life, whether it is physical clutter in my home, mental clutter that's holding me back from living my best and happiest life, emotional clutter, or even toxic people that I have had to let go of. And I think that we've really gotten to a point where as a family, it's become much, much easier for us to recognize when something is clutter and take it out of our homes, and also to reduce the incoming flow of clutter from buying stuff that we don't need. So if you feel like you need help with either of these things, make sure to go check out one of these videos, and I'll see you again next week. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.